You know that feeling when you want to get a real handle on something, to truly understand what's going on without getting bogged down in endless details?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's exactly what we're aiming for today. We're taking a deep dive into France's journey towards the expanded 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Precisely. We've got some pretty detailed analysis here. Think of it as your shortcut to a report called Analyzing the French Team's 2026 World Cup Qualification.pdf.
Okay.
And our mission, really, is to cut through the noise. We
Sure.
want to understand France's current standing, the obstacles they might face, and, what their chances actually look like for making it to this much bigger tournament.
And it is going to be massive, isn't it? 2026, a whopping 48 teams hosted across the US, Mexico, and Canada. Huge.
It really is a new scale for the World Cup.
So, with that expanded stage set, let's jump right into France's qualifying situation. They're in UEFA's Group D.
That's right, Group D. So that's France, Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan. Now, the UEFA qualification process, and UEFA, remember, is the European governing body. It's famously tough. You've got 55 nations all fighting for just 16 spots in the finals.
16 out of 55. Wow.
Yeah, it's intense. The teams that win their group, they qualify directly. That's obviously what everyone's shooting for.
Right.
And the runners-up, they head into playoffs for the remaining spot. Think of it like a mini league across Europe where the top dogs get their ticket and the next best get a second shot.
16 spots.
Oh.
It really does highlight how competitive it is just to get there from Europe. And this isn't something way off in the future, is it? Qualifiers are happening now.
Oh, yeah, they're already underway. We've got these crucial doubleheaders happening in June, September, October, and it all wraps up this November.
So crunch time is basically starting now. And France, well, you'd have to say they go into this as strong favorites.
You'd think so.
Right.
I mean, they won the whole thing in 2018 and were runners-up just last time in 2022.
Yeah.
That kind of recent form.
Hmm.
It speaks volumes.
Definitely sets expectations high.
It does. Though it's interesting, some countries have already booked their places. The hosts, obviously U.S., Mexico, Canada, they get automatic entry.
Right, the perks of hosting. Who else is already in?
So far, we also know Japan is qualified, representing Asia, and New Zealand from the Oceania region.
Okay.
Japan, they sealed it with a 2-0 win against Bahrain back on March 20th. And New Zealand, they beat New Caledonia 3-0 on March 24th to get their spot.
Right, so the field is slowly starting to take shape. Now, France and the World Cup, I mean, we're talking about football royalty here.
It's absolutely. 2 championships, 4 finals appearances. That's a serious legacy.
And the man steering the ship is Didier Deschamps. Still there, still leading them.
And what's amazing about Deschamps, really, is that he's done it all. He captained that winning 98 team as a player, and now he's coaching them to success.
Incredible double.
There's that quote attributed to him, "Football's a simple game, but it's complicated to play it well." That feels pretty apt for the journey of building a national team.
It really does. And that 98 win, that was more than just a trophy, wasn't it? It felt like a huge moment for the country, unifying a multicultural nation and really cementing France as a global football power.
It had a massive impact, for sure. And the fact Deschamps is staying on his contract runs through 2026 that provides, huge stability, continuity.
That's got to be a big plus. No upheaval there.
Exactly. His leadership offers a proven formula, a deep understanding of what it takes internationally. And it's been interesting to see how his tactics have maybe shifted a bit.
How so?
Well, the 2018 team was built on this really solid defensive foundation, incredibly hard to break down. But lately, we've seen a bit more, maybe, flexibility, more willingness to adjust the attack.
Which brings us nicely to the current team itself. The analysis we're looking at really flags their squad depth as a major strength. It seems like they've got quality everywhere.
Oh, the depth is, frankly, astonishing. It's a huge asset. It gives Deschamps so much tactical flexibility, plus cover for injuries, fatigue, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they have this great mix, don't they? You've got the really experienced players, guys who've been there and done it, alongside this wave of, seriously exciting young talent coming through.
You're talking about players like Kylian Mbappe. I mean, he's already played in 2 World Cups, and he'll only be 27 in 2026. That's usually prime age.
Scary thought, isn't it? And then you still have veterans like potentially N'Golo Kante, maybe Antoine Griezmann still involved, though they'll be further on in their careers.
Right.
But then there are the younger guys really pushing through. Eduardo Camavinga, Aurelien Tchouameni in midfield, William Saliba in defense. They're gaining top-level experience all the time.
That blend does sound potent, but Like any team, there must be potential weaknesses flagged in the
Yeah,
analysis.
no team's perfect. One point raised is maybe an over-reliance sometimes on individual brilliance, particularly Mbappe, to make the difference in tight matches.
Okay, relying on the superstar.
And also some questions about how they handle defensive organization against teams that press really, really high and aggressively.
Right, that intense pressure. And the report also mentions Deschamps' pragmatism, that maybe sometimes his caution could potentially, hold back some of their attacking flair.
It's always a balancing act, isn't it? Finding that sweet spot between being solid in the back and letting those incredible attackers flourish. That's the challenge.
Definitely.
And speaking of preparation, something else the source emphasizes is physical fitness. It's apparently a cornerstone of the Deschamps approach.
Yeah, they're known for being incredibly fit, aren't they? Using all the latest sports science, monitoring player loads really closely.
Absolutely. Cutting-edge methods, sophisticated tracking. And look, this focused on peak condition. It becomes even more important with the expanded World Cup format.
Because of the extra games.
Exactly. You could potentially play up to 8 matches to win the tournament now. That puts a huge demand on physical endurance, and it makes squad depth, the ability to rotate effectively, absolutely crucial.
So those personalized training plans, recovery protocols, they're going to be vital during qualification and beyond.
Utterly vital.
Okay, let's delve a bit deeper into this expanded format itself. 48 teams, 104 matches across 16 cities in North America. It's just huge.
It's an unprecedented scale. And the group stage is changing too, right?
Yeah, how does that work now?
So instead of 8 groups of 4, it's 12 groups of 4.
12 groups? Okay.
The top 2 from each group go through automatically to the knockouts.
Yeah.
But then the 8 best third-place teams across all those groups also advance.
Ah, so third place could be good enough.
Potentially, yes. It
Huh?
creates a 32-team knockout bracket. So, yeah, that best third-place element adds another layer of strategy, maybe complexity, to the group stages.
Interesting. And the report mentioned something about France historically doing well in World Cups held in the Americas. Is that a thing?
It's mentioned, yeah. A historical data point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's familiarity with climate conditions, travel. Hard to say for sure, but it's an interesting tidbit.
Could be a good omen, perhaps.
Perhaps. And you can argue the expanded format, more matches, might actually play to France's strengths.
Because of their depth.
Exactly. Their ability to rotate players, manage workloads over a longer, more demanding tournament could be a significant advantage compared to teams with thinner squads.
That's a really sharp point.
Eh.
But still, they'll face massive challenges, surely. The South American giants, Argentina and Brazil,
Oh, absolutely.
and their big European rivals, too.
Without a doubt. The competition at the sharp end of a World Cup is always ferocious.
Yeah.
So while France has experienced their tactical know-how under Deschamps and just the sheer quality they possess, it definitely makes them one of the main contenders in most people's books.
But
But this new format, this bigger scale, it does add a layer of unpredictability. We are kind of entering uncharted waters with how this tournament structure will play out.
yeah, definitely something to watch. The source material also had a quick FAQ section, didn't it? Touching on some wider points.
Yeah, it briefly covered things like the overall 2026 format changes, how the qualification spots are divided up globally. Looks like UEFA still gets a lot, but other regions see increases too. And it touched on the UEFA qualification process in general, and even a bit about New Zealand's path.
Yeah.
So, there's more context there if you, the listener, want to explore those broader World Cup aspects.
Provides a bit more of the big picture.
Exactly. Sets the scene for the whole tournament.
Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, we've taken a good look at France's road to 2026. They're in a competitive Group D for qualification, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But their history, Deschamps' leadership, and that, frankly, incredible squad depth put them in a really strong position.
Agreed. They have all the ingredients.
The expanded World Cup format, though, it throws in new variables, potential opportunities with their depth, but maybe new challenges, too. It makes following their journey, well, pretty compelling.
It certainly does. And maybe a final thought to leave with everyone listening. When you consider France's mix, that blend of, seasoned veterans and exciting young talent, and you put that alongside this new, bigger, potentially more grueling tournament format, what do you think will ultimately be the biggest single factor determining whether they succeed or, well, fall short in 2026?
That's a good question to ponder. Experience, youthful energy, Tactical adaptability, depth.
Or maybe something else entirely. Definitely something to keep thinking about as we watch the qualifiers unfold.